Good morning, Year 10s. Right, buddies. It's our last online lesson. I actually get to see you guys next week, which is going to be good. I'm excited to actually get into school and to see everybody, so that's going to be really, really nice. And I hope everything has been going well with Miss Newton and thank you so much to the cover teacher who's here with you to help you out with this lesson too. Cool, buddies. So here's what we're going to do. Today's lesson, we are going to be doing an absolutely awesome but terrifying area revision lesson. Okay? So I think you're going to be quite good at area, and so because of that, and because I don't want you to be bored, I've kind of found the most nightmarish area questions that I could possibly find, and that's what our activity is going to be today. So woohoo, that's our goal. Cool. So the very first thing I need you to do is title. So you could just put Area Revision Day if you want, or Big and Terrifying Area Revision Day. Both are good. And yeah, to start with, I'm just going to get you to jot all of the formulas down that we know, just because I bet you know them all, but in case you don't, it's nice to have them in one spot for reference. Cool. So, to begin with, my lovelies, we have got the area for a rectangle. Now, you might notice that I like to draw it like that. It's just because I can't be bothered to write the word rectangle, that's why. So I've put a capital A and a little subscript of a rectangle, and that means area of a rectangle. Cool. Well, you guys know what that one is, don't you? Yeah, length times width, isn't it? Very nice, very nice. Cool. Now, very similar to that, almost the same actually, is this bad boy here. Everybody remember what that shape is called with two sets of parallel sides? That's right, parallelogram, my lovely tenors. Perfect. And better still, does anybody actually know the formula? Well, if you said, boom, base times height, you're absolutely right. Cool. Everybody should know this one. It's the area of a triangle, and that's a half base times height. Now, I've written it algebraically, so a half BH, but I know a lot of you guys say it's kind of base times height divided by 2, and yeah, there's various ways of saying it, but yeah, half base times height, because that's how we roll in maths. Cool. This guy here is the trapezium formula, so not everybody knows this one usually, in my experience. And there's a little song that goes with it, so shall we have a little look? Yeah, cool. So, here we go. For a trapezium, the formula itself is a half, open brackets, a plus b, close brackets, h. Now, that's kind of a tricky formula to remember. It's not ideal really, because it's not an easy one to remember. So a trapezium, just in case you don't remember what a trapezium is to start with, it's like a triangle who's had its head chopped off. So I'll draw on this one and then I'll erase it promptly. I'll show you what I mean by that. Like, see this picture of a trapezium I've drawn there? I've drawn mine with, mine's an isosceles trapezium, because these left-hand side and the right-hand side are the same length. They don't have to be though. And here, look. If you just continued those lines, see how it makes a triangle? Any shape that you can just chop the head of the triangle off with like a set of parallel lines is a trapezium. So yeah, and the formula for it's a half a plus b times h. So here we go. I'm going to have a big drink of water here, and then I'm going to tell you what we need to do. Okay. So for this formula, here's how you can remember it, my lovelies. It is a song, and I'm not sure about putting myself singing on YouTube, but what the heck, let's do it anyway. So here's the deal, my lovelies. Top and bottom are the two sides, okay, of it. That's the top and bottom side. And the height's the distance. There's this bit here. Okay, you ready? Here's your song. It's half the sum of the parallel sides times the distance between them. That is how you find the area of a trapezium. Yes, now I'm a proper YouTube celebrity now, so there you go. But yeah, that's your little song. That'll help you remember. Half the sum of the parallel sides times the distance between them. So it means you add the top and the bottom together, because that's the sum of the parallel sides times the distance between them is h. So that's exactly right. And the other one there, the final one, is the circle. And you remember it, pi r squared. So that's all of our formulas. Now, the circles are the hardest to spot in the wild. They're a little bit tricky when you have to work with the circles, so most of our questions are going to be circle-y today. Cool. So I'll start you off on kind of like an easy-er one, but as you can see, it's not easy. We're not like doing year 8 area here. We're definitely on the year 10 area. And yeah, It says this: a circle of diameter 8 is cut from a piece of yellow card. The card is in the shape of a square of side length 11. The card shown on the diagram is then thrown away. Work out the area of the card that's thrown away. So we're after the yellow area, essentially. Okay, here's the minimum steps to get full marks, okay, buddies? Because I think I'll just use this one to kind of be lazy and cut steps with, because I know from teaching you guys in the past, I know it's been a while since I've taught you, but I know teaching you in the past, most people don't like doing steps, so I'm going to minimize the steps for you. Okay, think of a strategy to begin with. If we're after this yellow area, here's what our strategy is going to be. You can find the area of the whole yellow card, so like that square, including the circle in the middle, that is cut out, and then we can take from that the area of the circle. So that's going to be our strategy. So let's use our strategy then. So to start with, let's do the square. So just write something like square or big or outside or anything like that. Now, you know the square is length times width, or side times side, however you want to say it. But it's length times width. Here's how you get the full points, okay? Show your substitution step, but not the formula step. It's length times width, it's 11 and 11. Now you could write 11 times 11, but it's kind of good form to get into substituting things in with brackets, because we're going to be doing some pretty heavy-duty algebra this year, so that's really quite useful. So 11 times 11, you guys know, is 121. I double underline that. Perfect. Now that's the outside square, so now we move on to our circle. Ooh, I'm not happy where I drew that. And the other one is circle. Now we're going to cut steps here as well. You guys remember the formula is pi r squared. So let's do it. Pi, and then open bracket, because we're going to substitute in r. Now, is r 8, my lovelies? No, because that's the diameter, right? So all the way across is a diameter. R stands for radius, which means it's only that part, and that means that's 4. So it's going to be pi and then 4 squared. Now, here's kind of the beauty of using those brackets. We're going to get a decimal answer here, but in your calculator, there's actually a pi button. If you've got the class whiz, which I will absolutely start hounding you to get one when we get back to school. If you've got the class whiz, you can push shift, and then after you push shift, it's on the times 10 to the power of button. I think if the other one is in the same spot as well, if you've got the blue one or the pink one or the gray calculator, it is shift and the times 10 to the power button. It's the third one from the bottom. So that's how you get pi. So if you put it in, like pi, open bracket, 4, close bracket, squared, I got 50.3 to 3 significant figures. And there you have it. So final answer then, my lovelies, if you want to get the answer, it's just going to be the two of them subtracted, right? So it's going to be 121 take ants equals 70.7. 0.7. Here we now finally need a unit. The unit is centimeters squared. And there you go. So that's how you do these questions. Cool, guys. That's the minimum steps. Do you see how I didn't make it long? I didn't make you write like millions of stuff out. Just the substitution and just the answer, okay? Because I know that you're good at it, so you don't need to show me too many steps, but you have to show me a step, that's all. Cool? Right, so harder still. I think the blue indicates this of the old spec. This used to be an A grade question, so it's a tricky one. Okay, diagram shows a star made by removing identical quarter circles from the corners of a square of side 30. Work out the area of the star. Okay. So, first thing I would notice is this star itself, the colored in bit, is kind of horrible and not linked to any of these shapes. See what I mean? Know how we've got all of these? We have the rectangle, the parallelogram, the triangle, the trapezium, and the circle. But this triangle, or this starry thing, isn't linked to any of them. So we're going to have to do a different strategy. What's our strategy going to be? That's right! If you said it's going to be a subtraction strategy, you're absolutely right, because here's what you probably spotted. You maybe spotted that these guys here, these little corner edge bits, are each a quarter of a circle. which means to find any one of them, you could find out the whole circle that they make, and then take away, or then get a quarter of that, times that by a quarter, and that would be how you do it. So here's how I'm going to go with it for you though, guys. Start off, let's do the whole area first, so the outside or the square. Okay, now this should be the easy one. It's 30 by 30, so you're going to write area equals its length times width, which is 30 by 30, which means the area of the whole outside, 900. 3 times 3 is 9, 2 zeros makes it 900. So that's it. Perfect. Now, here is our strategy. Now, if you can be really, do I want to do a shortcut with you? No. Yes. No, I'm going to make you earn it. I'm not going to do a shortcut with you. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a quarter circle next. I'm going to make you earn it. Ha ha ha, no shortcut for you. Okay, here's a quarter circle. Now, here's what you got to do, my buddies. To find this quarter circle, the one that I colored in yellow, we're going to need to know its radius. Now, the radius is from the center to the outside. So it's easiest if you drew it there, which means it's 15, right? So for a quarter circle, here's what you're going to do. It's going to be pi r squared. So pi and then r is 15 squared. But because we only want a quarter, it's going to be like times by a quarter or divide by 4, whatever you prefer. Bish bash bosh that into the calculator and see what you get. So I'll do that now and you do it as well. So it's pi times 15 squared equals, there we are. I got 176. 177 to 3 significant figures, so rounding. So a quarter of a circle is 177, so that's 177. Cool. Which means this is 177. Which means this is 177. Which means this is 177. Which means for all of them, so all of them, it's going to be 177 times 4. So 177 times 4, and that's 708. So A equals 708, and that's the area of all 4. Okay, who sees the shortcut? Good. If you spotted that you didn't actually needed to divide it by 4 in this case, because this 1, 2, 3, 4 together made a whole circle, you could have just binned off this quarter bit and done it in one step, which would have been perfectly acceptable too. Cool. But anyway, so it's 708, and that means our final answer then is just, and our final answer then, my lovelies, is going to be this. Answer, it's going to be 900, take that, which is 192. 192, because we're at a final answer, needs units, centimeters squared. So I hope that that's okay. Those are two kind of, easy and medium difficulty. I'm not going to do this one for you, I don't think. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But this here, this question 26, which is a bit pixelated, it's a bit retro then, it's pixelated, anyway. This one here is what I would start calling a nightmare question. Like, how in the devil do you work this out? It's certainly circles, because you can see that they're rounded edges. But this is an example, I would say, of a really, really hard one. Have a little think and have a little chat maybe to your next door neighbor if you're close enough to do that with the COVID. I'm not sure really. But have a little chat or have a little think about what you would do to solve this. I just want to know the first step really. So have a think. I'll let you think for about 30 seconds. Go. Okay, so let's have just a little peek then. It's difficult to know what to do. You can certainly see this is almost a circle, and sometimes people's instinct tells them to do that to finish the circle. That's not a bad idea, but then you're kind of really mixed up on this one, like how are we going to get this sign? That's good, but how do we get this other one? So I'd suggest maybe not that. If anybody came up with anything really clever, bearing in mind that this is the center of the outer circle, I wonder if anyone came up with something like this? Oh, that's it, my buddies. You've got it. I think I am going to do this one with you. It's harder than I even thought it was. So look, now you've got a yellow one, and you've got a green one. Ooh, oh, two yellow ones apparently. Oh, and there's the green one here, and you've got a green one, okay? So there's two parts of circles. Well, here we go. Let's do the yellow one then first. Just make sure. We'll do it really quick. It takes a minute. I'm a bit too hyper when it comes to switching pens, it looks like. Okay, so here we go. Let's do the yellow one. Now, on the yellow one, it's just a circle, okay? It's a quarter of a big circle, and its radius is 17. So from here all the way to the bottom is 17. Can you see that? That would be 17? Cool. Well, here you go then. So it's going to be area equals, and it's pi r squared, but r is 17. 17 squared, but the thing is it's only a quarter of a circle, so divided by 4. So a equals, okay, here we go again. So it's going to be pi times 17 squared equals 227 to 3 significant figures. Cool. So that's 227. Now, there you go. For green, though, we're a little bit harder. Now, first things first, we don't know the radius of green. Oh, yeah, we do, actually. Because 17 is this whole length. That's 9. So what's remaining? Well, 8. Cool. So that means the radius of the green one is 8. So let's try it. A equals pi, and then we're going to go 8 squared. And here you go. How much of a circle is it? Well, if it's 3/4, isn't it? Times by 3/4 then. And that's how you get it. So it's going to be pi times 5, and you're going to get 151. 151. Which means your answer this time is just going to be plus 227, 378. 378 meters squared. Cool. So I didn't intend for that lesson to be as long as it was, but unfortunately it was a bit. But here's what I'm going to get you guys to do. Our activity today is going to be some matching. Cool? So what I want you to do is have a little try of all of these questions, okay? That one's hard, but there are some that are not so hard. This one's hard as well, but you can get it. Just try to think about how can I split these guys up. Work through all these questions, and basically the answers are just down here. So if you work out the answer to this question here, for instance, with the 40 or whatever, this one here at the top, and that looks like it's in a square, well, if you work out the answer to it, then you can just be like, oh, the answer is 550. So you could be like, this one matches with this one. Like, I don't think that the answer is 550 because I completely made that up, but you see what I mean? It's just a matching. So match each answer to one of these. I think that's going to take you the whole period. If it doesn't, then I've got this for you as well. And these are proper nightmares like that one. Well, you recognize this one, but that one's a nightmare, and these word questions are especially hard. So think of this more as an extension, and this more as what I would like you to try. And that's it for now, my buddies. I'm going to pop back up to this page. The only reason I've done that is because when I finish saying goodbye to you, you can just pause the video here and it'll be up on the screen for you to look at in case you can't remember any formulas. So that's it, my buddies. Keep up the really good work, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, buddies!